A punch landed on Rick Ross in Vancouver. Drake hit the like button. And 50 Cent? He hasn't stopped laughing since. Look, we've seen rap beefs before. We've seen diss tracks. We've seen subliminals. We've seen Instagram shade. But when's the last time we saw a major rapper get rocked in broad daylight, have another major rapper publicly co-sign it, and then watch a third rapper turn it into a traveling comedy show? Because that's exactly what happened in the summer of 2024. And honestly, the fallout is still going. Here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't just some random fight. This was the result of over 15 years of bad blood, a decade-plus feud between 50 Cent and Rick Ross that has included sex tape leaks, bankruptcy filings, baby mama interviews, and more diss tracks than anyone can count. And the Vancouver incident, it might be the single most embarrassing moment either of them has ever been involved in. So let's break down what actually happened, why it happened, and what it means for one of hip-hop's longest-running rivalries. June 30th, 2024, Vancouver, Canada. Rick Ross just finished performing at the Ignite Music Festival. The set went well by all accounts. Crowd was engaged, energy was high. Then, as Ross made his way off stage, his DJ made a decision that would change everything. He started playing Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Now, if you don't know why that's significant, here's the context. Not Like Us was the diss track of 2024, the song that arguably ended Drake in his beef with Kendrick. And they played it in Vancouver, which is basically Drake's backyard, Canada, the Six Gods territory. What happened next was captured on multiple phones. About 15 men approached Ross and his entourage. Someone demanded the song be turned off. Words were exchanged, and then, without warning, a punch connected with Rick Ross. The footage is chaotic, but you can clearly see Ross getting hit. His security was overwhelmed. One of his team members ended up on the ground getting kicked and punched by multiple attackers. The videos went everywhere within hours. Millions of views, endless memes, and the comments, absolutely ruthless. But here's the part nobody talks about. Drake himself liked one of the videos on Instagram. The caption on the post read, "Y'all already know. This a Champagne Poppy Town." And Rick Ross smashed out. Drake, who hadn't said anything publicly about Ross in weeks, chose that moment to make his stance clear. No words necessary, just a double tap. What happened next was captured on multiple phones. About 15 men approached Ross and his entourage. Someone demanded the song be turned off. Words were exchanged, and then, without warning, a punch connected with Rick Ross. The footage is chaotic, but you can clearly see Ross getting hit. His security was overwhelmed. One of his team members ended up on the ground getting kicked and punched by multiple attackers. The videos went everywhere within hours. Millions of views, endless memes. And the comments, absolutely ruthless. But here's the part nobody talks about. Drake himself liked one of the videos on Instagram. The caption on the post read, "Y'all already know. This is Champagne Poppy Town." And Rick Ross smashed out. Drake, who hadn't said anything publicly about Ross in weeks, chose that moment to make his stance clear. No words necessary, just a double tap. Ross responded the way you'd expect from someone who bills himself as the biggest boss. He posted a photo in front of his private jet with the caption, "Vancouver, it was fun, till next time." He told TMZ that nobody on his team suffered serious injuries. He even said Vancouver is a beautiful city and he can't wait to go back. Then, a few days later, he got on Instagram Live with a different story entirely. According to Ross, he didn't actually get punched. Instead, he claimed the first guy who stepped up to him was a little short fat one that looked like Bam Bam Bigelow from wrestling. Ross said he squatted down to look him in the eyes and told him, "Boy, if I hit you, you gonna see everything you ate for the last few days." He said the guy's balls dropped out of his ass and he never said another word. Then, according to Ross, a second guy said, "I know MMA," and after that he got hit with a drink. Not a punch, a drink. Now, we all saw the videos. You can watch them yourself and decide what actually happened. But here's the thing. It doesn't even matter what Ross says at this point, because 50 Cent was already 3 steps ahead. If you know anything about 50 Cent, you know he was not going to let this slide. The man has made trolling Rick Ross into an art form for over 15 years. This was Christmas morning for Curtis Jackson. His first response was a video posted to Instagram with the most perfectly fake concerned expression you've ever seen. "Hey guys, I just saw a very unfortunate situation that took place in Canada," he said, keeping a completely straight face. "I wanted to say to everyone that I hope that brother made it home safely. I hope that he now has a different perspective and a better sense of what to do and what not to do while you're out in the world." Then he got to the good part. That part where the young guy, he did this little move and got knocked the fuck out right there, that does not reflect him. That reflects his camp, and he might need to go get the Dream Chasers. By the end of the video, 50 was openly laughing. The Dream Chasers reference was perfect. A shot at Meek Mill's label while Ross is supposed to be Meek's boss at Maybach Music Group. But 50 wasn't done. Not even close. 6 days after the Vancouver incident, 50 Cent performed at Ottawa Blues Fest. He turned the whole thing into a bit. "I can't believe what y'all did to Rick Ross," he told the crowd. "You fucked him up." Then he started scanning the audience, pretending to identify the attacker. "Who was it? You did it? There he go right there. Who said Canada was soft?" The crowd ate it up. Later that month, he did the same thing in Toronto, thanking the Canadian fans for making him feel at home by beating up his rival. "Some of y'all kicked Rick Ross's ass, right? So I want to thank you again for making me feel so at home." He also posted Ross's baby mama Tia Kemp reacting to the fight. She was roasting Ross for going to Canada without adequate security after all the Drake drama. "There should have been 100 of y'all over there in Canada," she said. "All that shit that fat bitch been talking. What make y'all think you can go over there with that bullshit?" 50 shared it with the caption, "My guess is ya won't be going back to Canada acting like it ain't what it is." To understand why 50 Cent was this gleeful about the whole thing, you need to understand the history. These two have been going at it since around 2008, when reportedly they had some kind of confrontation at the BET Awards. Ross didn't like the way 50 looked at him. 50 claims he doesn't even remember Ross being there. That's how petty the origins are. A look, maybe, depending on who you ask. In early 2009, Ross dropped Mafia music with lines directly targeting 50's personal life. "I love to pay your bills. Can't wait to pay your rent/Curtis Jackson baby mama. I ain't asking for a cent." He was referencing the public drama between 50 and his son's mother, including a house fire that happened after a court ruling in 50's favor. Ross was basically calling him a deadbeat and an arsonist in the same bar. 50 fired back with Officer Ricky, and this is where things got ugly. See, Rick Ross had built his entire image around being a drug kingpin, a major player in the Miami cocaine scene. But 50 dug up photos of Ross working as a correctional officer in the early 90s. Not a drug dealer, a prison guard. The complete opposite of what Ross claimed to be. 50 didn't just release one diss track. He flooded the internet with content. Cartoon parodies, comedy skits, interview footage. He was relentless, and it worked. Ross had to spend years rebuilding his credibility after the correctional officer revelation. But 50 took things even further. He leaked a sex tape featuring Lastonia Leviston, the mother of one of Ross's children. That decision backfired spectacularly. Leviston sued, and a jury awarded her $5 million in damages, later increased to $7 million. That lawsuit, combined with other financial issues, contributed to 50 filing for bankruptcy in 2015. Ross has been bringing up that bankruptcy ever since, constantly questioning 50's wealth and success. And 50, he just keeps trolling. Every stumble Ross takes, every embarrassing moment, 50 is there to amplify it. It's been like this for over 15 years now. And here's the thing, it hasn't stopped. In early 2025, Ross linked up with Big Meech after his release from prison to promote a Welcome Back concert. 50, who produces the BMF show on Stars, posted a picture of a rat on Instagram with "I think I'm Big Meech" written on it. Ross responded by mocking 50's apparent jealousy, doing an impression of him crying. "Took a picture with Rick Ross? You look like a hoe. Put your back against the wall and slide down." Then in March 2025, 50 clowned Ross for being billed as a special guest on the Millennium Tour instead of a headliner. He posted, "He not a surprise guest, he can't sell a ticket. LOL. Ross fired back by questioning 50's record deal with Interscope and Aftermath, asking how he never renegotiated for his masters after multiple platinum albums. "Who got fucked worse?" he asked. In July 2025, 50 went after a viral video that allegedly showed Ross hugging someone on a yacht, making accusations about his sexuality. Ross clapped back, claiming it was actually a black, beautiful woman, and accused 50 of being infatuated with my lifestyle. Then in August 2025, Ross escalated things by bringing up 50's son Sire, suggesting the kid might need therapy due to family issues, and offering to buy him a puppy. He also questioned 50's relationship with Benzino. The beef is clearly not cooling down anytime soon. And if you thought the Drake connection was over, it wasn't. In July 2025, Drake dropped "What Did I Miss?" as part of his Iceman rollout, and fans caught what seemed like a direct reference to the Vancouver incident. Yeah, Nas get punched in the face on some TLC shit. On the dead guys / some TLC shit. Cause mine, you gon' need a chili ice pack for your left eye. Chili and Lisa, left eye Lopes, two members of TLC, and Ross took a punch to the left side of his face in Vancouver. The wordplay is pretty clear. So where does this leave us? Rick Ross got punched in Canada for playing a diss track. Drake co-signed it. 50 Cent turned it into content for months. And the beef between these men, which started almost 2 decades ago over a look at an awards show, shows absolutely no signs of ending. Ross keeps insisting he's wealthier and more successful. 50 keeps finding new ways to embarrass him. Drake is clearly still paying attention. And somewhere, someone is probably already planning Ross's next trip to Canada just to see what happens. The irony is that this beef has probably helped both of them stay relevant. Every time things get quiet, one of them says something, and suddenly everyone's talking about 50 Cent and Rick Ross again. It's the rap beef that never dies, fueled by ego, spite, and apparently an unlimited supply of Instagram storage. So here's my question. After everything we've seen, the Vancouver footage, the endless trolling, the baby mama interviews, the bankruptcy jokes, the correctional officer exposure, all of it, do you think these two will ever actually squash it? Or is this just going to keep going until they're both in the nursing home posting Instagram stories at each other? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button because clearly you're invested in this mess, and so am I.